Good evening, everyone. We'll take a moment for people to join before we get started. Hello, hello. If you would like to in the chat, you can give us your name, introduce yourself, your name. Ooh, we have someone with a picture, like a not a picture, a video. You, if you understood how much I'm on Zoom and I get excited when people show their faces. Hello. We'll give people one more moment to join us, and then we'll get started with Paula's session today. In the chat, you can also introduce yourself if you'd like. You can introduce yourself with your name, where you're located, and what subjects you teach. And you can do that in the chat. Lori, I'm missing your fancy music.
My fancy music. I need to share my playlist with you, don't I?
Yes. We have Jana. Did I pronounce that right?
Jana, yeah.
Jana Bell. Secretions. Cool. Welcome. All right. So I guess I'll go ahead and get started and introduce Paula. My name is Portia Morel. I work for CodeHS, and I am here supporting Paula Medina, who is a teacher trainer for us. And I'm so excited for today's delivery, which we'll be talking about pre-teach for equity, a reflection on teaching practices that improve student learning. And so without further ado, we have Paula. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you for coming. We have a small audience, so interrupt me whenever you want. I'm anytime. So I'm Paula Medina. Oh, I think we passed that one, right? We're good on this. We can go past all this. There. I've been teaching 7 years. I'm certified in math and computer science, and I used to be an IT professional. I really love teaching computer science. I think it opens up a lot of students' minds. So I want to provide opportunities, showcase their accomplishment, and, a small goal, build the largest computer science program in Connecticut. We have either the first or second one right now. The points, I think we're a Title I school. And the reason I love building this program is it provides opportunity for all students. They don't have to be honor students, and they don't even have to be good students, but we get them in with JavaScript. We teach them how to organize their thoughts and how to program. We're building communities. We have clubs, competitions. Students run like our hour of code every year. We have a TikTok, and so it was going well. And then I said, well, I need to do something different because my good students were becoming a little too arrogant and with the lower producing possibly students. So I've started to pre-teach some topics, and it seems to be helping everyone learn more. Started in 2018. The person who taught it before, he retired. And that's when we brought in CodeHS. And every year it's grown. I've grown the AP program. Now we have almost 90 kids taking AP. We teach A. Let's see, we have 3 sections of A and 2 sections of principal. And we have 2.5 FTEs of teachers. And it's working well. I love it. A student graduated this year. And this is what really warmed my heart. He's a first generation in the States. English is not his first language. And I taught him math, and then he took 2 computer science classes with me. And now he has a full scholarship at Western Connecticut State University. And all the time he was in high school, he worked 20 hours at Walmart. And it's just the fact that he found computer science that just makes it more than worth it. And he's such a delightful young man. We've won a few competitions, thanks to Carol. And it's nice to win, but I just want to send as many kids to these competitions as possible, because then they can apply for internships. So the first year we sent 15 kids, and the second year we sent 27 kids. And it's just growing. They want to compete. Now, we've also won some internships. The first year I had one student intern. The second year we had two. And the student who had the internship for 2 years, he decided that's all he wants to do is code. So he's now been offered a full-time job at Lockheed Martin, and he's going to go to college at night. So for me, we're doing something right. The kids can take alternate paths, and it seems to be working. We're having fun. But the hard part is, because my philosophy is put everybody in the same class, don't track them. So we get a lot of kids with different skill sets. So it makes it very hard to teach. Are you finding that too? Do you have a wide range of skill sets? Yeah, and it's very hard because you're only one person. So what we've seen is we have unpredictable student behaviors, because if you get a student who hasn't passed a math class and a student who's in pre-calc or AP calculus, they have different ways of learning. And so that's been a complex thing to handle. I have a lot of students who don't speak English, and some students who don't attend, and then some students possibly who have not had positive reinforcement for their learning throughout their career. So challenges everywhere, right? But I had one student, he didn't speak very much English, and he came in late to the semester. But when he finally started to get it, he said, I'm tired of feeling stupid, but I love feeling like a genius. So with those kinds of comments, it kind of keeps me going. I don't need to have all-star students. I can make every student an all-star, and sleep sometimes. So what I tried to do is build the community, eliminate the fear of learning, pride in learning. And I like the pre-teaching the essential skills now. And we have really used Carol as a mascot. So everybody knows Carol. I tried to get them to buy in that, if you know how to code and you're in the Carol Club. And we have a TikTok, and that seems to be popular with the kids. We did a sorting algorithm, where they dance the sort, and we put it on TikTok, and it wasn't quite right. And so we got 300,000 people telling us it was a little wrong, including CodeHS. They put up a little thing almost there, but it was great. Everybody was just happy we got 300,000 hits. It was hilarious. And they like to be clever. And then we try to put all their work on the wall so that they can take pride, because a lot of kids don't understand what coding is. And so I'm trying to sell it constantly. So my classes basically, and I'll talk about my JavaScript mainly. So most of them have never coded, but I get the fast kids and I just let them run. They have to meet the minimum milestones. And then I try to throw in extra stuff for them. And I require them to show their work. And then I ask them to help others. But they were getting to the point where they were kind of grouping together, which I didn't like, because their heads were getting too big. They thought they knew everything about coding. And so it is kind of fun to go over there and say, oh, well, why don't you try this? Look it up. And so that can bring them down a little bit. Not down, but I mean, it can remind them there's a lot to learn. And then my distance runners, I want them to meet the milestones. I try to find something special in their code so they can show off. And then I I just try to keep emphasizing how much they can learn. And I have them help anybody else, somebody else. Because I've always noticed maybe the runners, the distance runners, they can usually find the syntax errors very fast because that's usually what they get stuck on. So I really try to have them help the sprinters with that. But then I realized I wasn't doing enough. So I thought of the idea, well, let me show everybody something new so that they can all feel that they're getting something new. So I started this pre-teaching this year, and basically I'm trying to demystify the topics for the distance runners, and I'm trying to provide a challenge for the sprinters. And I'm trying to keep myself engaged. Because I don't know about you, but it can be boring sometimes, yes, Carol can move. Okay, type it in, let's get it done. So I found that this has been a little more engaging for me. And I find when I teach something ahead, they all will stop and listen. I don't have half the class moving forward. I have all of their attention for a 10-minute exercise. So I'm liking it for that. Oops, sorry. Okay, so I actually teach functions on day 2. If they've done the move, great. They know how to use the interface. And I'm using the new version, so I have function main, and then I have main at the bottom. And that's the first thing I say. You always have to have this in every program. And all the commands, they're like children, they have to live in a function. So we don't have orphan code. And I know this isn't what CodeHS has on their examples, but it helps me. They have to listen, and then a few aren't listening. And I say, no, you don't get credit for that because it's not Mrs. Medina's format. And it reminds them to not cheat. I don't know if it works, but I like to have them start organizing their code early. I teach for loops. Right before I see the sprinter almost there, I introduce it to the whole class. I have them copy it directly from docs. I said, look, you have 3 moves, put the for loop. All you got to do is change count to the number. I don't make them learn every piece of the for loop. I want them to use it. And then in a couple of weeks, I can explain the pieces. Because that's how I learned to code. I mean, when you're in the field, you just have to do it. You don't have to understand why everything works. Variables, I do the same. Before they finish the Carol challenges, I introduce, what's your age? What's your name? Print out a line. And we do it together as a class, and it's an exercise. They have to submit the link in Google Classroom, and they get a point. So my daily little exercises are worth much more than the CodeHS work. And I find that can be motivational. Graphics with parameters, that's what I love. Modulus, like I have some of the students are not very strong in math and they don't understand modulus. So I found like if I introduce all the operations at once, this will turn them off. So I introduce modulus as a one-off in a class exercise, and that's helping. I do the basic, I do the object early. On principles, I do half coding and half concepts. So here's just the example of how I do the function, how I do that lesson. And it's pretty basic. I mean, but it's not what CodeHS is, It's not what CodeHS is showing them. So they have to listen to me. And I put examples in Google Classroom. And so I always call it a no excuse class. So everything is available to them. And I think this helps them learn how to be better students as well. And, another example, I don't even think this will pass the CodeHS collect the coins or make pancakes problem, because they're not looking for a for loop. They're counting the moves or something. But I tell the kids, I don't care. I'll be looking for the for loop. And the graphics one, I found, because I do a project that make a living thing when they get to graphics. And they were building some nice complex things, but it was just sequential code. And so they were losing the structure. So I said, okay, I'm going to teach you guys parameters. They're easy. So I start with build a circle, and I describe it like we all do. And then I say, okay, now you have to build 2 circles. Okay, put the structure in there, see if it works. Okay, good for you. This is great. And then I'll say, now I need 20 circles. And they're like, no, blah, blah. And I say, okay, let me show you how to cheat the system. Here we go, because you guys are sophisticated. And I start right in with parameters. And the way we teach the class, we teach it by semester. So the first semester never gets 2 parameters, but by me pre-teaching it, they have it. So when they go into A, they know what a parameter is. So I think this is working. And it does make it more interesting for me because, you can review parameters instead of just circle, circle, circle. With my A class this year, the first thing, I don't like the unit 2 for the CSA class. I thought it's better. It's been improved. I still love CodeHS. I love CodeHS, but I think it's a little disjointed. So what I did was I introduced the Carol class, and we have a little 3D printer, and I have my Carols. I said, okay, here are objects. They live in a class. What is this? He has whatever his attributes. And so we built this. So very basic. And I said, well, just in general, you need something to construct the object. And I try to have them look for the patterns. Oh, look, it's the same name as the class. Oh, look, something's coming in, because now they've had an experience with parameters in my CS1. So I go, these are just parameters. Look, Java's a little crazier. You have to tell it what kind of a parameter, and et cetera. And I said, oh, look, you're just storing something. No big deal. And then I said, well, what if you want to change it? And then I go on about, well, a setter will help you do that. So how many setters do you need? You need 2. Oh, look, they look very similar. And I go through this, trying to establish the pattern with them. And I explain, you really don't know what's going on. And I understand that, but you can see a pattern. And they go, yeah, okay. And they start doing that. And then I explain a 2-string, because I think CodeHS takes a few lessons to get there. And then I have them actually put it on Sandbox so that they can fall, because we all messed up on those file names, and you have the main in the wrong one, so that we can get through some of those basic errors before they actually get to it in CodeHS. So I think this is working out well. And then I actually add it on their first test in unit 2. I say, okay, now for half the test, you've got to write on a piece of paper the Carol class. And then I said, okay, I'm going to give this part of the test every day until everybody gets it. And it only took me 2 tests. So I know it was simple enough. And I think it's helping them with unit 2. At least I'm going to believe that. So that was my whole exercise. It's working for us. And I have a few more. So the young lady on the right there, she took 4 classes with me, started as a freshman, and then she took 2 independent studies because we didn't have, the full pathway. And she's now studying engineering. These 2, they were just wonderful. They were very competitive with each other, finished the A class in a semester. The young lady in the middle, yeah, she's at Stanford University, and I like to say that's because of my A class, but I know it isn't. But I know it added just another little checkbox on her application. And she's studying engineering. At Christmas, we go around singing carols, and we write little things, and the kids love that. And I think that kind of brings the honor students together with the non-honor students. And it's really quite hilarious. We even had we have a carol costume that they wear and they play the guitar. I mean, it's hilarious. That's it. I do give a lot of extra help. I hope some of these ideas resonate with somebody.
You can open up for questions if you don't mind, Paula.
No, yeah, fine.
Are there any questions? I have one. So Paula, I'm not in the classroom anymore, but if I was, what advice would you give when it comes to trying to start implementing pre-teaching with a group of students?
I pick the topics you like, that you want them to use early. I mean, I love stressing the difference between for loops and while loops. So I try to get the mechanics out of the way early so that when they get to those exercises, they're only thinking, which one do I use? Not which one do I know how to use? Because I found that can slow, and then they kind of freeze up. Oh, I don't know how to do that. I'm going to make this one work. And then they get frustrated. So that's what I do. And if I'm feeling a little bored, I'll just pull a topic that I like. I had them doing variables while they were still in Unit 1 because I wanted to show them, and I want them to get used to the fact that you always won't know everything when you code. There's always something you don't know. And no matter where you are, you have all the tools where you can figure it out. So I kind of want to get, throw them a little problem that's easily solved. That's what I like to do.
That's a good answer.
Oh, good. I passed. I mean, it's such a crazy thing to teach, right? Because I love it so much that I had a student who came in for help yesterday, and the early part of the semester, she just was giving me the meanest looks, just angry. And yesterday she was so happy to see me. And I said, you were kind of angry in the beginning of the year. And she goes, oh no, I probably just had a headache. But, as a teacher, you don't know why they're frowning or it's hard. We just have to keep, I don't know. But I've seen kids who are really bad students, I mean, not passing anything, produce a beautiful living creature, with a text line and with a computer science joke. And, oh, can we print this? Can we put it on the board? Like, yeah, let's do it. So it's just, I don't know what part of the curriculum where they'll turn on to it. It's kind of an amazing study of people, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Paula.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate
Do you have
it.
any other things you wanted to say, or I can go ahead and wrap up for the session?
I think I've said a lot.
Okay. Before we wrap up today, we did want to go over a few things. Paula, can you
Not share?
No, or either you can stop share or continue on with the slides. Either or.
Oh, sorry. There are more things. Oh, this one. I forgot this. Thank you. But read this. This is hilarious. A student made this for me. And I just can't. I just love it so much. Sorry. It's just funny. Okay, I'll go on. There you go.
I was reading it.
Oh, sorry. I mean, it's hilarious.
Because of your will, Carol turned left.
Yeah. I mean, and they don't, and my new students didn't get it until they'd finish, I don't know, part of unit 1. I go, now do you get the sign? They're going, yeah, we are powerful. Right.
Thank you for sharing. That's really clever.
Yeah. She did it for the English class. Isn't that funny?
Like it's the integration between subjects.
There. Oh, you're right. Why didn't I think of that? Bonus points for my review.
This former English teacher, I say yay.
Here's some additional information of how you can continue to get involved with CodeHS. You can become a CodeHS certified educator, continue to attend great workshops like this one, join our Slack community, earn micro credentials. That we have a Facebook page and a whole bunch of other social media pages. I just dropped a slew of links in the chat if you're ever interested in doing any of the above. And then we have some upcoming workshops. Paula, can you press next?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. So we have more coming from other teacher trainers as well. We have Tracy and the Turtle. This sounds like a book. Tracy the Turtle and the Yellow Dot Illusion with Kent. And then we have Teaching APCSA When You Don't Know Java with Joe. And so these are going to be October 26th and November 6th. And you can sign up for future workshops. I'll just drop it into the chat, or you can go to codehs.com/free PD. I hope that you really enjoyed this, and we love to get feedback from all of these workshops. Paula, can you press next for me, please? Thank you. And you can give us feedback by clicking on this link in the chat or going to codehs.com/workshop survey. We want to thank you so much for attending. And Paula, you gave some real advice. It made me reflect on my own teaching abilities, because I actually used to, and I still do, become afraid of teaching the hard stuff early because I'm thinking about the level of scaffolding. But then you're right, like they don't need to know everything.
I mean, some of them will never know everything.
Yeah, so you have a good point, and I was writing down a lot of notes. I hope you found this to be very valuable, and we look forward to you doing other future teacher trainer workshops like this. Thank you so much.
No,
and
thank you
for all of the attendees. And with that, I say goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.